Welcome back to WTOL 11 Your Day. Well, here in the Glass City, we bleed either maize and blue or scarlet and gray. And today we're talking about an icon of the latter, talking about football and his new book, Out of the Pocket, Football, Fatherhood, and College GameDay Saturdays. Buckeye legend and college football analyst Kirk Herbstreit joins us this morning. So, Kurt, good Monday morning to you. Let's jump right into it. Let's talk about your book. So what's interesting is this is not a book just about football, right?
No. I've never really thought I'd write a book. I've been asked in the past, but during quarantine, going back to 2020 in the spring, Gene Wojciechowski, who I wrote the book with, approached me and just asked me if I had any interest in writing, as you said, not just a football book or about broadcasting and just my journey in that world, but going all the way back, to remembering my dad who played at Ohio State, was a captain. He coached with Woody Hayes, and I grew up idolizing my dad. He was a hero of mine, and that world kind of turned upside down when I was 8 years old. My parents divorced, and being a quiet kid by nature, I ended up going to 8 schools in 9 years, and both my parents remarried, and both got divorced again. I had a lot of step brothers and sisters and dads and moms, and it was just a strange time. And my hope is, and I've heard from several people, that other people have been through similar circumstances. And I'm not trying to pretend to have all the answers at all, but I do relate to people who go through struggle and go through tough times. And I'm hoping that that people will say, you know what, I went through that, or I'm going through it right now as an adult. And just based on my experiences and shedding some light on that. As I said, as an introverted kid, I held everything in, never really talked about any of this ever. And this was somewhat therapeutic to kind of talk about some of the trials and tribulations of coming from a fairly dysfunctional family as a kid.
So, Kurt, when you talk about your life story, 8 schools, 9 years, several step parents, step siblings along the way, attachments could have been pretty hard for you to grasp just growing up like that. So what are you hoping that people take away from your life experience once they read this book?
Well, again, not that I pretend to know. This is not a tell-all like explain how to do everything and fix your life. That's not what it is. It's just my own experience. And what I'm hoping is that people will see that people evolve and people change. When I saw my high school teacher that I told when I was a senior, I'm not getting up and giving a speech, I'm okay, go to the next person. She said, it's 25% of your grade. And I said, I don't care if it's 100%. I'm not standing up in front of the class and giving a speech. And she saw me a couple years ago, and she goes, if I would have known that senior in high school would end up speaking to millions of people on TV, she's like, I would have never believed it. And so it's just to show people that you can evolve, you can change. It helps to have a support group. I talk about, at Ohio State, I was supposed to be a guy that walked in and started for 4 years, and I fell flat on my face. And I dealt with depression. I dealt with really a lot of struggles. And I ended up meeting with a sports psychologist, which in 1990 was not a real cool thing to do. And I did it. I needed him. And I was okay with that. And I encourage people who can to reach out to get some help if you can. And so more than anything, it's just acceptance. It's finding a support, whether it's family, it's friends, it's a coach, it's a mentor of some kind. You just need people who genuinely care about you to help you get through some tough times. Because as we all know, and somebody told me this once, you're either in a storm in life, you're coming out of a storm, or you're heading into a storm. We all need to learn how to deal with adversity because it's there. I mean, it's there every single day, whether it's your personal life, whether it's your job, whether it's being a parent, whatever it might be. We all have to learn to cope with it. We can't hide. We can't think that we don't need to worry about it. And so it talks about how I'm not this shiny little toy that everybody might think I am when you see me on TV. I got the same problems that a lot of other people have out there.
Well, so many powerful points, and really, hopefully it's going to inspire some people. So, Kurt, we have to talk about it. We have to talk about football a bit. Just need to know, Ohio State, they're going to be really good. Do you believe this is a national championship type team?
I always wonder in your region if it's more of an Ohio State town or a Michigan town. I'm guessing it's 60-40, maybe 70-30 with Ohio State's recent dominance over Michigan. And I'm sure back in the 90s when I was playing, maybe it was the other way because Michigan was dominating. But Ohio State, I was, I have a son who's currently a true freshman. And I went to picture day about a week ago and looked around at some of these players, and I'm thinking, how in the world does Ryan Day do it? I mean, they lose guys like Justin Fields and Trey Sermon, and you look at this team now and the hoof, and you're like, they look better than they did a year ago. I don't know how they do it. Wait until Ohio State fans see the true freshman wave of talent that is coming in this year. So they continue to raise the bar. I'll be shocked if they don't win the Big Ten. I'll be very surprised if they don't get back to the playoff. Now, C.J. Stroud, who's been announced as starting quarterback, is going to have to step up, and I think he will. But the talent around him, the talent on the defense, the secondary will probably be the most improved area because of the depth and athletic ability on the team. But no, man, it's business as usual in Columbus. They're just going to keep rolling.
Sounds like they'll win the national championship is what you're saying.
They'll be in the race.
Indeed. So another quick question for you about college football. With the direction that college football is going in with NIL deals starting to take off and kids getting paid, how do you feel about that?
I think it's okay. I think that like a lot of people, we all kind of have a reaction to change. It's like, whoa, what's happening? I don't like change. But now that we've been at this for about 7 or 8 weeks, we're seeing that the average name, image, and likeness is about $923. I found it interesting so far that 53% of all the name, image, and likeness that has happened up to this point has not involved football or men's basketball. So, I don't think it's this, everyone's going to make millions of dollars and, we're going to lose, the integrity of the sport and these guys aren't going to be focused on team. Those are some initial concerns and rightfully so. But let's just watch. Let's just learn. Let's just see what happens. I think a lot of these kids right now are doing, they might tweet something out or might put something on social media and they get X amount of dollars for doing that a certain amount of time. So it's not as drastic as I think the players hoped it would be. And a lot of administrators feared it might be. So early in the game, 7 weeks in, but like everybody else, I'm just kind of watching and reserving my judgment until I see how it plays out a little bit.
Well, that's the best way to do it. Well, Kirk, we thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Stephen. Take care. Have a great week.
You too.